And welcome back, everybody. This is Movies and Beyond. I'm Callum, that's Kyle. Kyle, how are we doing today?
We are today.
We are today. We are in today.
I have new setup. I have not really. I just turned the light on.
He turned his lights on. Hell yeah. Before we get started today, a Furiosa review is coming. We have filmed it. It might be up today. Might not be. So.
It's technical difficulties, we should say. We want to try something new. We were quite excited to get it up. It's just technical difficulties.
Yes.
That's what we'll say. Yeah.
That is what we'll say.
Well, we'll know. We'll know soon, hopefully. And hopefully we can get it up by today. It would be quite nice, but it's just a case of...
I think we can. Now, we're not going to review the film here, but Furiosa, it's not doing too well at the box office. I think we can both say how we felt about it, though. Like, I liked it. And you?
I again, we won't go into a full review, but it left a little bit to be desired. Let's put it that way. It's not by all means a bad movie. I'd still say, yeah, check it out if you're a Mad Max fan. But it didn't... Yeah.
So...
Didn't do it for me.
It didn't do it for Kyle. But... for the people who saw it, it did it for a lot of them. They liked it. The only problem is, not a lot of people saw it. This just edged out at 31 million domestic US opening weekend. It only just beat Garfield this weekend.
Fucking cat.
Also, it only got 58 million worldwide. When you look at Apes that came out 2 weeks ago, and that got around 54 just US domestic alone, and I'm pretty sure it was like 100 and something worldwide. So, yeah, not doing great box office wise. Now, I liked the film, but let's kind of just discuss why we think this happened. Because even though you didn't like it, Kyle, you'd admit that this film was getting great word of mouth. Fantastic word of mouth, even.
Yeah, there was a lot of good praise from it, especially before we went to go see it. And I guess that's kind of why I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And it wasn't great. It was good, but it wasn't what people were saying it was. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I think there's a load of issues with it. Because obviously the last one came out, 10 years ago?
Nearly 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Mad Max brand isn't very well... I mean, it's known, but it's not... You know, it's not like, say, something...
I don't think the Road Warrior made that much money when it first came out.
Yeah.
And that's regarded as the best one by some people. Now, I think we're looking at a couple of issues here. One is definitely we're in this era of shorter, people expect the movies to come out quicker from when...
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. It did what Avatar did, and it took fucking nearly 10 years. You know, that's not a reasonable time frame for people to wait. I understand that people are just like, oh, I don't want to get into this franchise if I have to wait 10 years every film.
I think this would have been out a lot sooner if it wasn't for the pandemic and everything. We'd have probably been looking at like a 6-year wait, maybe, which is more understandable. 6-7 year. But we're coming up to 10 now. So
I still think 6 or 7 years is way too much for a spin-off.
Yeah. So for some of that was already written as well. Now, another thing I think we've got to look at is no Mad Max in it. No marketed for Mad Max in it at all. That might turn some people off. Not for me. I like the Furiosa character. But then again, just because people like the Furiosa character, they liked Charlize Theron as Furiosa. So not only are you doing a prequel with this character that people love, but then you're changing the actress, which I love Anya Taylor-Joy. She can do no wrong to me, and I think she was great in this film. I actually bought it when she's being silent and not very verbal. It worked for me. But I think there's going to be a lot of people looking at it. It's like, alright, it's not even who I like as the character. Do you think that kind of played a factor in it, or?
I mean, you've got Planet of the Apes, which is still in cinema, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, you've got the choice of like, oh, you've heard nothing but great things about Planet of the Apes, and it's a sequel. It's a true sequel to, this great trilogy that people know. And then you've got sort of like the Mad Max, where it's like, I'm going to say like the audience is very different in the sense of like, if you like the Mad Max films, you're probably a little bit older, or, it's more of a, I don't want to say it's a niche thing, but it's definitely because like there's one modern film of Mad Max, but that was 10 years ago. So
yeah, the modern film is 10 years old.
Yeah.
People are going to argue with us, actually. 9, coming up to 10.
Yeah.
It'll be 10 next year, beginning of next year, I think.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, I don't care. It's 10 years old. There's nothing really been outside of the Mad Max Fury Road film other than the video game, which was pretty good. Other than that, there's nothing really sort of pushing that market. Unlike, say, Planet of the Apes, which had a solid 3 movies, and it had a great set of comics. It's obviously got the original films, It's got a lot behind it, whereas like Mad Max, it's like if they did a sequel to Fury Road, say like 2 to 3 years later, I feel like this could have been like a steady build-up, kind of like how the Planet of the Apes films was. But this, it's not Avatar, where Avatar 1, did 2.7 billion. Like everyone knows Avatar and how great that is, and everyone really enjoys it.
Fury Road was successful. It just wasn't. It was successful for an R-rated film in 2015.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 2015, man. That's it. It's, it's sad to see because, again, I know there's a lot of people that are watching this, you saying as well, you really enjoyed it. That's great. That's the great thing about film. It's very subjective, and, just because I didn't enjoy something doesn't mean I want someone else to not enjoy it the same way. Yeah. I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah. Now, George Miller's been talking a lot lately about he wants to jump straight into his next Mad Max prequel, which will be set a year before Fury Road. What do you think the chances of that happening now?
I still think it's on the table.
Yeah.
It's just they really need to plan this ahead, kind of thing. I know George Miller has like written all this backstory about these characters, but you can't leave these films too long because it's not like Avatar where, especially after it got bought by Disney, it's got all this marketing behind it, it's got all the money it needs. The Mad Max films don't have that benefit, and they don't have that worldwide eye on it. Whereas like Avatar, it's like, oh, this film made 2.7 billion. It's like it's the biggest film ever in the box office, and it's not on the same level.
No, and I think we will get another Mad Max, and the beauty of Mad Max is them first 2 films as well were very done on a low budget. You can tell, but that's the kind of the beauty of them as well. Now, don't get me wrong. Furiosa, I believe, had a budget of $180 million, and it's only managed to coop up 60 worldwide this weekend. I don't think this film will break even. Now, they know
it doesn't show. It doesn't show. I know. Again, just want to talk about the film here just briefly, but the CGI, man, like holy shit. You could tell there was a lot of. Sorry, there's a train passing. And it's passed. There's a lot of like green screen, and you look at a film like Planet of the Apes where the CG looks brilliant, like it's top notch. One of those, I guess it's one of those things of like, it might put people off a little bit.
It might, but like Warner Brothers clearly knows there is power in the Mad Max name. That's why this film wasn't just called Furiosa. This film was called Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. To get people who didn't know, who like Mad Max, interested and go, let's watch that. I like Mad Max. So I think we're going to see it. I think we'll see it with a smaller budget, definitely. Maybe 120 million. Not 100.
Yeah, this... Not that it didn't deserve it, but it didn't use it that well in the budget. You say 180 million the budget for this was. Yeah, it should have been a lot smaller.
But then
considering...
you got to think about star power in this as well. Chris Hemsworth, I would not be surprised if he wasn't at least 20 million of that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think. Anya Taylor-Joy as well, up-and-coming star. I'm pretty sure they paid a high price for her as well.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It like you said, this had a lot of things going against it, rather than helping to push it.
And again, the main thing going for it, in my opinion, it was a great film as well. And the word of mouth are out there. It seems like the bait, people just didn't bite at it and take the opportunity to go see it. Now, will the great word of mouth continue over to next weekend, and we might see something like only like a 30% drop or something in the box office? I doubt it, but it's still got that positive word of mouth there. It's not like, oh, don't go see this film. Like, you might be one of the only people I've actually heard say they're not a fan of the film, which is fine. But, yeah.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's a good film, and it definitely deserves to not flop. People should go and see this film because you might get a kick out of it. I didn't, unfortunately. I think it was just like the excitement and the hype the closer it got, and I was just left a bit disappointed.
The three people we went with, us, the group we went at with, 66% success rate on it, of liking it. So,
yeah.
Every 1 out of 3 people didn't like it.
And I'm not saying the film's... Again, this is me saying the film's terrible or bad. It's good. It's not great, though.
It's not Fury Road, and I think that's what I said. I like that it's not Fury Road. That's the thing I like the most about it.
No, but I'm saying it's not... No, you're mixing up. So, I get what you're saying. It's not like Fury Road. I get that.
Yeah.
But it's not... I'm not saying it's meant... It has to be like Fury Road to be good. I mean, it needs to be good on its own feet, which I don't think it really hit it. I get it. It was a very origin story type of film, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
X-Men Origins Furiosa.
Don't say that bad.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on to our next topic. Netflix. The CEO, Ted Sarandon. He's come out and he said some pretty delusional things lately. He said if Barbie and Oppenheimer released on Netflix, they would have the same success that it had. Now, quality-wise, well, yeah, if it was the same film, of course it would be successful that way. But does this man really think he could replicate that success of what happened last year with Barbenheimer on a streaming service? What does he think he's going to get nearly 2 billion in new subscriptions for Netflix because of Barbie and Oppenheimer? No, that wasn't going to happen. He also said that quality and something to do with quality and quantity, and it was like, just because there's a lot of quantity doesn't mean the quality suffers. And that is something that we can see as big MCU fans over the past 3 years. The quantity has definitely messed with the quality. So, Kyle, what do you have to say to this?
Um, I think that's it. It sounds like business talk. It's like he's
Yes.
saying that for the shareholders kind of thing. If he truly believes it, then yes, he is very delusional. Um, because that is not the case with Barbenheimer. Barbenheimer was successful because of its cinematic release, and it's one of those things where it sort of proves that you go into the cinema and it's
Yeah.
not dead even after the pandemic. And I don't know, it just wouldn't have hit the same. It's like, yeah, you would have had these two fantastic looking films come out, and it would have been on the same platform, but it's like,
Yeah.
I just don't see it hitting as well.
Now,
I don't know why.
don't get me wrong, I like to think I've got myself a pretty decent setup to watch films on, but it still pales in comparison to sitting in that theatre. It's weird, isn't it? Because people really thought we was going to be in an era where people didn't go to the cinema anymore, which, looking at Furiosa box office, people didn't go because that's something maybe people wasn't interested in, but I don't know why they want to kill the cinema experience, because it has been proven time and time again, if your film has a theatrical release, it will do a lot better on streaming. Because they'll go, oh, I saw that, and it were nice. It were nice. I liked it. I'll watch it on streaming when it's out. I'll watch it on so-and-so streaming service. It only benefits the streamers with films, coming out in theatres. You're saying stuff like, it don't matter what size screen you watch it on. Shut up, you twat.
Again, I think we should keep our opinion off that, but again, it's a very delusional thing that he said.
Yeah.
I can tell you I essentially have some strong feelings against this man, which
I don't hate Netflix. I subscribe to Netflix. I like stuff that Netflix puts out.
Yeah.
And I don't think all Netflix original films are dog shit or bad.
A lot of them are, but
well, yeah, a large majority of them are.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is something where I don't know why he's determined in going to war with theatres and studios who put films in theatres.
Because I think it's one of those things where it's like it's something he wants to say to attract these companies to make a film for his platform, for them, for it to sort of do better. So it's like, oh, you want to do a similar situation with like Barbenheimer, and like say a company comes along and says, oh yeah, we want to repeat that success that Barbenheimer did, and oh, you can do it on streaming for so much cheaper. Like, yeah, let's do it.
You will never ever be able to manufacture the success of Barbenheimer because it was so organic.
Yeah, because it's all the memes and things like that. Memes are big, and this was just a gold mine for people who loved memes and loved the sort of it's kind of like best way I can describe it is like Xbox and PlayStation. They're so like back in day, the early 2000s, it was like, oh, the Xbox is better, PlayStation is better. Today it's all, everyone's also unison about it, and it creates a bigger community. Then it's it's the same with this. It's not, if these films came out a couple of years ago, it would have been like, oh, they would have been so against each other. I think it's like, oh, you're gonna go. Everyone,
yeah,
will see Oppenheimer or see Barbie, one or the other.
Be honest with me. Do you think we would have gone and seen Barbie if it didn't come out on the same day as Oppenheimer? Maybe because now we're doing the channel, but let's say no channel.
Yeah.
Barbie comes out.
I mean, shit, it's Ryan Gosling, so probably.
Yeah, we'd have gone to see it. We'd have seen it.
Yeah, we would have gone and seen it. It's Ryan Gosling, Margot Robbie, a great cast. Even if it wasn't something that we want to go see, it's definitely something we definitely check out. So it turned out great.
Yeah. I quite like Barbie, actually, quite a lot. But yeah, no, Ted, keep making TV shows and make great films like The Adam Project, and don't be making so much. What was it? It was 21 or something like that when they had like an original. They had a Netflix original every day releasing on the platform. Yeah. It's like, what? Now, I get it.
It's money.
I do get it. He's trying to sell it and go, look, we can be just as successful. But I still believe instead of trying to beat the theatres and say, look, we're better than the theatres, accept it for what it is, and then...
Do you know what it is I don't understand, though? Is like, why is he saying this when he is already Netflix is massively successful with their, TV shows. You see shows like Baby Reindeer most recently, and, Tiger King, Daredevil, they're all hits, the biggest things on their platform, I find.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, another one. There you go. So I feel like Netflix should just stick with that. He should just stick with that. I get you want to expand and grow the company and things like that, but at the end of the day, just don't be spouting delusional stuff, because you look a bit silly doing so.
Yeah, no, definitely. And when I say twat, it's not a cruel thing. It's, it's a bit of a playful thing over here in UK. It's not as serious. Now, if I said the other one, that'd have been... Kyle knows which one I mean.
I know which one you mean.
Yeah. And if you get that reference as well, subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Giancarlo Esposito. He says he has spoken to the MCU. He has spoken to the MCU itself, the entity. He says his character...
like in She-Hulk.
Yeah. His character that he's playing will be teased, and then it will have a series. So, who the hell is this man playing? And first of all, one thing I do want to put out there, which I think would be hilarious, is actually signed on to Sony Marvel instead of Disney Marvel. But
I don't think
I
that.
don't think so as well.
This guy is not. He knows what he's talking about. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. He's a great actor as well, and he's been involved in so many different franchises.
The Boys, Star Wars, Breaking Bad.
This guy knows how to maneuver the franchises.
Yeah, but
so
who do we think he's playing? If it's going to be teased and then followed up with a series about his character, who he could be playing anyone, quite literally anyone. I think first one Kyle's going to say, which he always says for who are these people playing, is
Green Goblin.
I fucking like that, but if it's going to be followed up with a series, I don't think it will be. But I fucking like that a lot, actually.
I think you could do a series, because, like, how all these, when it comes to Oscorp and Osborn and things like that, there's a lot of story with Norman Osborn. Like, if you look in the comics for, like, the Spider-Man things, it's great. It's like, even in the most recent Spider-Man game, the Osborn stuff is great. And then you look at Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn, it's great. We really like that character of Norman Osborn. So I could see possibly, like, a show where it's like, showing off these new tech stuff and something maybe goes wrong or something like that. It would be definitely something new and interesting, and a great way to get into that, market of it. It'd be something a bit more grounded, but still in that realm of Marvel.
Yeah, I
don't think it's that. I'm just spouting here. I think that it sounds like a cool idea. But
one thing that is coming to my head when I keep thinking about it, I keep putting it off and thinking, no, who else? No, who else? I'm thinking he could be Doom.
I don't know. Because Doom... Like, I know they introduced Kang in a show,
Yeah.
but I don't know. Just because of the hype around Doom, I feel like he needs to have, like, an entrance. A beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
In a film kind of thing. He needs to have that presence.
Well,
in a film.
That leads me on to my second one. Kang. Maybe he's Kang. Now, the rumour floating around right now is that Kang will not be played by one person anymore after the firing of Jonathan Majors. And, a lot of these names that we've heard are floating around at Marvel Studios, like Coleman Domingo, John David Washington. Apparently, they're kind of considering all of them. And one of them's going to play the Prime Kang. Which I think actually kind of makes sense, because if you have one person come in and play Kang and he's all the variants, it kind of dismisses the Jonathan Majors stuff. But if you have a load of actors come in who are Kang, it's like, alright, Majors was just a variation on Kang. Kang can be anyone.
I like this. I like this a lot because, you know me, and I know you're a bit more passive on it, and it's the multiverse stuff. It's not very well defined or explained very well at all. You've got all these different timelines and multiverses and things like that. There's not really been a ground rule for it. That's what I've really found as a big issue in Marvel, in the MCU, with the whole timelines and multiverses. I think it's a massive issue that you don't have anything grounded. Yeah. Unlike, say like the Infinity Stones, like, yeah, we had ones as, that have appeared as other things and we didn't know it was an Infinity Stone. It kind of merged together towards the end, though. It worked towards the end, but the multiverse stuff, it just feels like a big fucking mess at the moment.
That's it, though. We don't know. Maybe it will paint a better picture by the end.
Yeah, but I'm saying...
Right now, it's like... What?
No, but I'm saying if they do this is a great... we know, Marvel are going back and refixing, rejigging some stuff. This would be a great way to sort of help explain, like, oh, no, Jonathan Majors Kang was... he was a variant of this certain timeline, maybe, or something like that. And then the real multiverse is literally just timelines, multiverses from other sort of dimensions and things.
Well, yeah, because he was Victor Timely, wasn't he? So maybe, really, he wasn't Kang at all. Maybe that's what they'll do to explain it.
I don't know. I feel like it's definitely a great way for them to sort of, try sort out, have set some rules for the multiverse, and, people won't be opposed to it, because, listen, you've had 3 different Spider-Men played by 3 different actors in the same film, and everyone fucking loved it. This would be great.
Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito is like Prime Kang, and Mortis. The one who was like, listen, that's me. Coleman Domingo is the Ramatut version of Kang. And then John David Washington as that younger version of Kang that we saw as well. With all like the technology. I think that's Centurion. Don't kill me if I'm wrong. But you can kind of play it that way now. And another interesting thing coming from all this as well is that they're actually looking for a Caucasian white male as well to play a variant of Kang. So it truly can be anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm fine with it going this route. I think anybody will be fine with it. I hope that they at least set some ground rules for the multiverse, help us understand it and get our heads around certain things, because again, it kind of like, it's one of those things that I really don't like about the MCU. It's just the multiverse stuff.
Yeah.
It just seems like every movie, the multiverse rules change.
Yeah, no, I get you. But I think by the time it's all said and done, though, I do think we'll have more of an understanding of it than.
Potentially, yeah, but I feel like there'd be more. It'd be more fun for people to figure things out a bit more and talk
Yeah.
about a bit more
But
because
then
you've got all
again, as well,
these rules that are set.
you know, you mentioned the Infinity Stones, and I think the Infinity Stones are some that are a lot easier to quantify, you know, and set the ground rules for.
Well, I mean, all they need to do is just kind of like, you know, Kevin Feige. He just needs to go into these films and say, look, this is how the multiverse works. This is how our multiverse works. Just
Yeah.
follow the plan of it. You know, do whatever you want to do with the multiverse in the film, fine. But as long as it's acknowledged that this is how we're doing it in the MCU.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you know, say I'm fine with it being different in, say, you know, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, because it's a completely separate company. Yeah, they reference other things, which is awesome, it's great, but the multiversal stuff there, their rules are completely different to the MCU. I just like the MCU to have that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, have its own rules. It can be different from that because that's fine. It's completely different companies behind it. But as long as they've sort of got, you know, rules set for it.
No, definitely. Anyway, Giancarlo Esposito, who do you think he's playing in the MCU? Could be anyone. Anyone.
Walter White.
I actually looked the right way. I looked the right way. And we're going to go like that, but I thought, no, that's all go. No, you look the wrong way, mate.
I know.
So you looked the right way, but looking the wrong? My God.
Next level shit, that.
Next level shit indeed. Anyway, let's get on to our last topic. You guys have been loving these videos. The reception we've been getting for these, the comments, what everyone has been getting involved. Everyone's been commenting, letting us know, you know, and no one's been saying, oh no, you're wrong, it should be this. Everyone's been just getting in there, giving their opinions, and that's why I said it last time at the beginning of the Magneto video. That is why me and Kyle got into doing this channel and seeing all the replies and everything. It just makes me willy tingle. So, yep, we're doing Storm today. Aurora Monroe herself, who's already been played by 2 people in the Fox universe. But we're going to be casting her now for the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the X-Men reboot film. So, Kyle, I'll let you get started. Who is your, you know how we usually do this? We pick 3 and then we go by not the person we want, you know, are least likely to get it to most likely to get it. So I'll let you get started.
So full disclosure here, I love the X-Men. I think when it comes to this character of Storm, the information I know is just as much as, say, Cyclops. You know, Callum's the X-Men guy. He knows it. I'm more of the Spidey guy.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, so, you know, this is something I think that I'm just kind of going with who I know, who I can think maybe fit the role from what we've seen in the X-Men films before. Anything else outside of the X-Men films, I know fuck all about Storm. So, you know, I think it's one of those situations where I think I'm right in saying this, that the Storm character hasn't really had that time to sort of really shine in the X-Men films, I think. You know, same as Cyclops.
Last Stand was definitely her big film.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't really have much going on in the first X-Men film. Obviously, and, you know, X-Men 2 as well, X-Men United. Obviously, we rewatched the first X-Men this weekend, and if we haven't got much going on tomorrow, we will definitely be doing a look back at the first X-Men film. And we're going to be doing this all the way up to Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, hopefully. You know, probably best not doing it on the weekends, because we actually don't have enough weekends for what these X-Men films coming up, so that's exciting now. So, yeah, anyway. Who's your first pick, Kyle?
So, just, again, I don't really know the character. I'm just going off of performances I've seen in films. I I'm not going to do this in any sort of order because I just, I'm just going off of what I've seen. So, most recent is Jazz Sinclair. I watched 3 episodes of Gen V, and she was pretty good in that. Obviously, I had the ending spoiled for me, but from what I seen of her, like she's got great charisma on screen. She's likable, and she's young. She's clearly down for this sort of crazy comic book stuff. So why not be down for this very established character who obviously means a lot to the X-Men fan base. So have someone that's young, eager to play this character, and well, not eager to play that character, but eager to just be a part of that and to really nail it on the head. Because like I said, Gen V's, for all its faults, it's still part of the boys' universe, and if you know anything about the boys' universe, it's like everything goes. So, it's nice to see that if she was to become Storm, she'd probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah, this is where we kind of get into a little bit of a roadblock, because Jazz Sinclair is actually my third as well. But, yeah. Gen V. Now, for me, you obviously you watched 3 episodes, you didn't like it. I watched all the Gen V and loved it. But in the first 3 episodes, I actually wasn't really liking Marie's character. Oh, Marie Monroe. Oh. Kind of fits now. But by the end, I loved everyone in the cast, especially Jazz Sinclair as Marie. We've seen her control blood. Let's see her control the weather. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'd say that I'd oppose to it is just because, obviously, I mean, we might get Jensen Ackles as Batman, so, who knows, anything's really possible, but if she is set to appear later on, because I've seen the ending, but full spoiler warning for Gen V, is she dead?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's the only thing I'd say that was against it, is that she's a part of Gen V and now the boys. She's clearly the lead in Gen V, so it's just one of those things.
Yeah, but they're on a
year
on year off cycle, really, aren't they? With the boys alternate, Carl Urban got to get away and film, be Johnny Cage in the new Mortal Kombat film. Yeah. So it's just because they're doing the show doesn't mean they can't find time for.
No, films. I know, but I mean, if it was someone to play Storm in the X-Men and they really want to go hard on it, she'd need to have a lot of time for that role.
No,
I think still.
No, definitely. Got to, because the Marvel schedule is quite demanding, and it's like, look, you could be this character, filming as this character for 3 years in a row in 3 separate projects.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But Jazz Sinclair, that's both our number 3. So let's get into number 2.
Okay. So again, just based on performances I've seen, but Knives Out stars Janelle. I'm saying her name right. Monet. Again, she's just, I don't know, her face kind of reminds me of Storm, just that look of like, I'm gonna fucking control the weather.
But yeah, what does that face look like exactly? If I'm gonna control the weather,
I don't know, just very, very focused, I guess. I mean, she was obviously in Knives Out, and she was in Barbie, wasn't she?
No.
Was she not in Barbie?
No.
I'm thinking of someone else.
You are thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
I
can't really speak much about this because I don't know the character that well.
I like that pick a lot, actually. Janelle Monáe, she's incredible in the work she's done. Now, she doesn't act a lot. She's more of a musician, but that's one of these great transitions of, but when she acts, she acts. like you said, Glass Onion, Knives Out 2. She was fantastic in that. Actually played one role, played two roles, but then played one role pretending to be the other person as well, which was, yeah, she was fantastic in it, and probably, to be fair to me, probably one of the standout characters in Glass Onion. But my number 2 is Natalie Emmanuel. We'll know her from Game of Thrones, Missandei from Game of Thrones.
Oh shit! Oh, that's a good pick.
That is, you know, I think she's going to be in the upcoming Francis Ford Coppola film, which people are kind of thingy about. But no, you know, we watched Natalie on screen for years as Missandei, and this nice, you know, subdued, you know, always calm sort of person. Spoilers for Game of Thrones here, right up until her last scene where she decides, fucking bring the fucking violence with her last words. So, yeah, Natalie Emmanuel, obviously she's in the Fast and Furious films as well. Not, you know, she's good in them, and she's a good actress. And if she were cast as Storm, I wouldn't be, you know, peeved off about it. I'd quite like it a lot. But she's definitely my number 2 pick. Over Jazz, because I think they're gonna go a little bit older. That's my only thing, is I think they are gonna go a little bit older, and I think Jazz might be a bit too young. But you never know, by the time the film comes out and start shooting, she might be old enough. But yeah, no. Natalie Emmanuel is my number 2. So Kyle, this leads us. Who's your number 1?
So it's someone who has already played the role, and I'm only saying this again is because I feel like she didn't have much time to. I've not seen the Dark Phoenix film.
That's my perfect go to sleep film. I put that on it. I'm tired, and it'll send me straight to bed. I'm not really asked about seeing that, even if it has some shred of goodness to it. But Alexandra Shipp, who plays Storm in the Apocalypse film. Now, again, she didn't really have much so she
time
came
to
in
shine.
as well as one of the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I feel like this would be a great way to sort of like, okay, you've played the character, and you know people were fine with it. Everyone said, yeah, it's fine. I just think it's, you know, at least it's easier to nail a role when you've already had a go at the role, kind of thing. And with like the new universe and things like that, it'd just be a great way to ease into it a bit more,
Yeah.
bit more familiar with people. So that's my pick.
That's
as
do you know
number one,
that's
I
a great
guess.
option as well. I really think she'd be up for it, because she was saying back in the day when she was cast as Storm, obviously this was when Chadwick Boseman was still with us, but you know, there was talking before you know, Disney even owned Fox. It was, the word was, you know, do you hope X-Men and Avengers ever come together? And she clearly knew the character, because she said she wants to marry Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther, like they are in the comics. Storm and Black Panther are married sometimes. So, yes, she's clearly got a little bit of a passion for it and wants to do it. And I would not be opposed to Alexandra Shipp. I think we both mentioned Michael Fassbender last time for Magneto. There has been some great castings in the Fox films where it's like, I wouldn't mind if they just, you know, came over and just went, and
Yeah, I mean,
continued.
they're still, you know, speaking about Fassbender, he's not exactly like an old kind of dude. He's, you know, he still could rock the role.
Yeah.
Of when did Dark Phoenix come out?
2019.
See, there you go. It's somewhat recent, and I reckon he could just step right back into those Magneto boots, and it's the same with Alexandra Shipp. She just looks Like she could just walk straight back into the storm.
And hey! Nice. And her career's only continued to get bigger and bigger as well, so it'd be a good get for Marvel if they managed to get her back. But my number one pick is the best. Do you know why? Because it's my pick.
Go on then.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Little controversial, but I'll explain it. Zazie Beetz. Now, obviously, she's already played Domino in Deadpool 2, but this is a multiverse here. Josh Brolin already played Thanos, and he's Cable as well. So, why can't Zazie Beetz play Storm in the X-Men, which will probably be in another universe, you know, once all the dust is settled. And she's also mentioned it before as well. She wants to play Storm. She's mentioned it before. I think acting ability, if me and Kyle say it every time, if you haven't seen Atlanta, go see Atlanta. You know, watch that show. It is so good. Because she can act. And I would love to see her as Storm. Now, you kind of screwed a bit of a face there. Are you on board with this, or...?
I don't know. Just because I love the character of Domino, you know, the little that we got in Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
And I just think it works hand in hand. I get it. It's a multiverse. You know, you had Thanos and Cable, but I don't know. I feel like that would get in the way of the Deadpool, you know, dynamic he has with Domino. That's if she ever appears again.
Well, you know, she said that she's not in
Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, Andrew Garfield also said he wasn't in Spider-Man No Way Home, so you got to wait until the film comes out for that. But I think if she's not in Deadpool and Wolverine, that's even more of a... No, this can happen now.
Yeah, I think if she's done with that role of Domino, which I'd be quite sad about it, then okay, sure, bring on the Storm.
You said that twice, mate.
I can't think of anything new.
Do you know what happens to a frog when it's struck by lightning?
Same thing happens to everything else.
That's right. Right. That'll do us for today, guys. Let us know down below who you want to play Storm in the upcoming X-Men movie that will be at Marvel Studios in the MCU, however you want to say it. Let us know. We love hearing it. We love, you know, because I've seen people mention people in the Cyclops one, in the Magneto one, and, you know, someone said to me in the Magneto one, they said Charles Dance, obviously Tywin Lannister. And if they were going for an older Magneto, I was like, fuck me, that's a great choice. That's a fucking great choice. So, it always depends on age and stuff like that. We won't know until we're getting closer to the film. You know, until they start casting certain people. But I do think when this cast gets announced, they're all getting walked out on stage at once. I feel like they want to do that. But, yeah. Right. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, you go watch all of our other videos, you go like all of our other videos. And yeah, we're a week away, Kyle, from our year anniversary of Movies and Beyond. So, bring it on.
Oh yeah.
1 year. How long did you think I would last? No, I mean, not last night. I mean, in the channel. Doing the channel.
Well, to be fair, I mean, you've kind of broke that cycle of, oh, I'm really into something, and then give it up after like 5 weeks. You broke out of that cycle, so I think you. It doesn't surprise me that you stuck with it.
We're going to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next video, which, if there's no news tomorrow, we will definitely be doing our 20 odd years later, 24 years later of X-Men. Yeah, 2000.
That's depressing.
That is depressing. I was
God damn.
1 when that came out. Or I could have been nearly... No, yeah. I might not have even been 1. Depends when it came out. So shit. Right, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you tomorrow.